Okay, so we've got E minor that we learned in the first lesson, and we've got A minor. Then we went to C on the pivot. Remember the pivot? And then we came and we did these jumping jack stretch out to the G. So we've got E minor, 2, 3, 4, A minor, 2, 3, 4, pivot out to C, 3, 4, and then the jumping jack to the G. And we learned a couple of songs with that. Now the next chord that we want to learn is the D7 chord. And I'll tell you why we're going to add the D7. Because when we play a C chord, okay, that first finger is going to now serve as a nice guidepost and a nice pivot for us to go from the C to the D7, okay? Now the D7 looks like this. You take your first three fingers, okay? And you're going to make a triangle with those three fingers. So the first finger is going to go right on the note C. Okay, so that's the second string, the first fret, C. Okay? And then that's the same finger that was playing in the A minor and the same finger that was playing in the C. So you see that we go C, A minor, we don't even have to move that first finger. And now when we go to D7, we still don't have to move that first finger. So that first finger makes a nice guidepost for those three chords. Now what do we do after the first finger? Do we take the second finger, we put it on the third string in the second fret. So you can see how there's one point of the triangle. Now we're going to get the bottom left corner of the triangle. And that's going to be the note A, okay? So we've got a C and we've got an A. And then finally we take the third finger, we put it down on the first string on that second fret. This is the F sharp, okay? So, I mean, we can talk about notes later, but this is the point. The point is you're making a triangle and you're playing a D7. Now, when you play a D7, you don't really want to get that bottom string in on the strum. So you want to kind of get your strum to focus on the bottom 5 strings, maybe even the bottom 4 strings, okay? The D7 doesn't want that E in it. That E bass kind of messes up the sound, as you can hear that. Okay? So a nice simple exercise is to go from the C, 2, 3, 4, and then just pivot to the D7. And then come back to the C, 2, 3, 4, D7. Notice that we don't pick our hands up and do all of this stuff. We always look for the guidepost, the foundation fingers that don't have to move. You want to move your fingers as little as possible. And that's how you can develop a good strumming and finger coordination, okay? So you got the C, 3, 4, don't take the first finger off, just pivot like that. Just like a mechanical device, okay? So C, 3, 4, and then to the D7. And then you can go to the A minor. Again, we're not even touching that first finger. And then we go to the D7. And you can already hear that those chords kind of fit together. They're kind of, they're kind of connotating some melodies, maybe even some original songs. If you want to create your own original songs, by all means, that's how you get to really explore the guitar and to get good at it. So now the G, of course, is kind of detached from that, right? But when we go from the D7 to the C, remember that going from C to G, we would now move the foundation fingers from the 2 and the 3, right? So now the 2 and the 3 are a guidepost to get to the G. Now going from the G to the D7, you do kind of have to pick everything up, but hopefully after doing the C to the D7, the A minor to the D7, you're going to have a pretty good feel for where that D7 lies. So let's talk about a couple of songs. You might notice now we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chords. So we can play quite a few songs now. And if you go on the internet and you search these 5 chords, guitar songs, put in the 5 chords, say guitar songs, they're going to start coming up. You're going to start seeing quite a few songs. But here's a couple you can play with, okay? This one's going to be G, E minor, C, D7, okay? G, then G to the E minor, C, D7, and you might recognize this song. Stand by me for E minor, stand by me for C, stand, D7, stand by me. So we've got G, E minor, C, D7. And you can play with that a little bit. The next song that I thought might be good was Good Old Wagon Wheel. Okay? So that's going to be G, and that's going to be a stretch to the D7, which there's really nothing that connects, but it'll be a good test for you to see how good you are with that D7. G, D7, E minor, C. Oh, mama, rock me. So you get that song, right? And that just repeats and repeats and repeats. That's the whole song. Okay, so there's a couple of chord progressions you can play with. Try to work that D7 into your chord sequence, and we'll come back next time and we'll throw another blanket onto the fire. Have a great time. Keep enjoying, keep experimenting, and I'll see you next time. Take care.